Hello, it's Widow's Reality Sessions, third episode with Ani Klang, one of the coolest DJs in the world. All of the links to her work you could see below the video. Hello, my name is Ali. I'm from Russia.
Hi.
Hi, Ani. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So tell me, when you started DJing?
I started DJing when I was 18 or 19. I was at NYU at the Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music, and I knew I wanted to be a music producer. That was my love. I loved making music on Ableton, making beats. I was producing for some pop artists and hip hop artists, but I still loved the sort of live performance aspect of electronic music, and I didn't really know what I wanted to DJ yet, but I knew that I wanted to learn. So I bought a Tractor S4, just a basic 2-channel mixer, and just started playing shows. I mean, I got booked at one, and then that one in some basement bar.
When you were 18, right?
Yeah, I was 18, so I wasn't even legal yet. I had to get a fake ID, and for them to let me in. Or sometimes I would arrive at the club like super early before the bouncers would arrive, so I wouldn't get kicked out. But like one little gig at a basement led to another, and that one led to another, and eventually I was playing semi big shows and lounges and clubs in Manhattan, which was really exciting. I didn't actually make the transition into sort of queer club music like what I'm playing now until about 2016, when I was maybe 21 or 22.
Yeah.
And ever since I heard that music, I've just fell in love, and that's been my passion.
Yeah. And when did you move to Berlin? Why? How was your life there? Tell us more about it.
Yeah. So while I was at NYU, I studied abroad in Berlin for about 6 months. I was supposed to study for only 3 months, but I just fell in love with the city. I didn't want to leave, so I got an internship at a little music tech company, and stayed as long as my visa would allow me. I mean, they were like about to kick me out, and I was like, fine, I'll leave. And then I graduated NYU, and New York is a very interesting place. I loved it a lot, and the club scene there is really, really great. But it's so expensive, and it's really not a very friendly city for a young artist. I mean, I knew I would have to get a day job, working at a label or in P&R or something, or PR and A&R, something like that, licensing.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want to go that route. I wanted to put all of my energy into making music and DJing. And Berlin just seemed like the best place to do that. I had some friends there. I knew it was cheap, which is a big bonus. So I moved there mainly so I could just have the time and the space to create, but also because I loved the music scene. I loved how high quality the sound systems and all the clubs were. I loved that there were collectives like No Shade kind of popping up that were really championing queer and women and female-bodied DJs in the scene. So I just really wanted to be closer to that and just see what happened. And it was fun. I definitely don't regret it at all. I don't think it was a great choice.
Cool. Are you planning to come back to Berlin?
Hopefully, yes. So, while I was home during the pandemic, my visa actually expired. And my lawyer says I'm not allowed back into Berlin until the ban on Americans is lifted. And I think currently Americans are not allowed back into Germany without a visa. So I pretty much have to wait until we're allowed to enter on like a travel visa, I guess, and then I can reapply for a visa. So that depends how it goes. I didn't have a lot of luck in past with the visa situation. It was kind of a pain in the ass. But now that I have a booking agency, maybe that'll help. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But it's something I would like to do for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and now I want to talk about your latest releases. You released your EP on Russian label Hyperboloid. How you met the people from there? How was the collaboration?
Yeah. Yeah, so I met Sergey, who co-runs the label with Pixelord. I met him a while back at a show, and we hit it off. He's great. He's a really cool guy, and I've been a big fan of Hyperboloid for a long time. Their release catalog is amazing. They have people like a fruit on a fruit, Pixelord, Max Dollhouse, Summer Hayes, like all these amazing producers. And so my first thought was like, wow, like what an honor to release alongside these incredible sound designers and artists. Um, and then as we kept talking, he was like, yeah, actually, it'd be really cool if we could put together a little like Eastern Europe tour. And I was like, oh, that'd be sick because every time I look at my stats on SoundCloud, it's always Poland, Russia, like Estonia, like there's Czech Republic, like all the Eastern Europe countries just really like my music. So I was like,
Yeah.
awesome, that would be so much fun. So that was kind of the plan, and then of course the pandemic happened and we had to cancel the tour, which was really sad.
Oh.
It was gonna be St. Petersburg and Moscow and all these amazing places. So that was a bummer, but it was still a joy to work with them. They had also recently signed with a PR agency in Berlin that helped me sort of I don't know, branch out the EP as much as possible and get it to as many ears. The video got picked up by Boiler Room, which was super exciting. Got a really fun premiere on Soul Feeder, and the agent has been massively helpful in sort of getting it to as many ears as possible. So I think it was definitely the right choice, and it was a great experience working with them.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
And are you working on something new right now?
Okay, yeah. Yes.
When should we wait for new releases from you?
Yeah. No, I'm always thinking about what's next. I'm a very like future-minded person. I'm constantly just thinking like, okay, like this EP is done, like now what? I rarely like stop and just enjoy. So I did a little like social media cleanse. I think like last week where I didn't go on Instagram, like no Facebook, no email, nothing, and I just totally just shut everything out and just focused on production for like a whole week straight. And that was really great because at the very end of it, I had a little listening session and sort of, reviewed everything I made. And I came up with like 6 or 7 tracks that I really like. So that there's definitely a future record on the horizon. And then I'm also going to collaborate with this really sick queer rapper called Grove.
Wow.
And they're based in Bristol. And it's going to be really sick because I've never had a real vocalist on my music before. And I think that's kind of like the next step to reaching more ears and making music that's a little more addictive. When you have lyrical content and a chorus and something people can sing along to. I think that's always kind of been what my music has been missing. So I'm really excited to collaborate with them and make some queer anthems. That's kind of my goal.
Yeah, that's amazing. When I was preparing for the interview, I listened to your music. And I really like it.
Thank you so much.
I am your fan and I'm waiting for new releases. Another question. What would you like to change in the music industry?
Yeah. I mean, I would mainly love to kind of change the way artists make money and the way artists get heard. I mean, right now it's a very kind of I guess to put it simply, like it's a very like top-down sort of hierarchy, I guess, where the artists with the most plays, get heard the most, get paid the most, they get all the opportunities, and there's still so much incredibly high quality forward-thinking music that's all down at the bottom that doesn't get played, they don't get money, they don't get heard, they don't get opportunities. And I would love to just kind of like balance out the playing field a little bit more, just kind of create a broader sense of equality, and sort of champion more ethical streaming services, where the algorithm doesn't just show you, who's most popular, who's getting the most right now, but I'd love an algorithm or like a service that shows you, who's really good and needs more plays, somebody who needs more support and more listens and more money, just to sort of balance out everything, and make sure that all the money isn't going to one place, but going to artists who are equally as talented but just don't have the same resources. So that's something I would really like to see change in the future, and hopefully we're getting there. I'd love to be part of that fight.
Okay, you spoke now more about changes from musician perspective, but what could you say about political aspect appearing in music? And what are your political views?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely consider myself liberal. This is sort of something I tried to tackle in my last EP. So Burn the Empire, the record was initially going to be called This Is Not Political, because I kept just kind of noticing this trend between politics and female or queer made music, and I found that a lot of people were sort of like forcing political meaning onto music when it wasn't intended. Like a woman or a queer person would make a piece of art, and it would be like, oh, this is a powerful feminist anthem. Like, yeah, and it's like, I don't think that's what the artist intended. And so I kind of always wanted to make a piece of music that was, purposefully like not political, to be like, hey, like I'm a queer person and this is not like a queer record, it's just a piece of music. So that's something I felt was important to kind of put out there. But in terms of politics, I mean, I'm definitely very open with what I believe. I mean, I'm very happy that that Trump is out of office and we finally have somebody with some sense and somebody who's not a petulant child running things. But of course, I mean, America still has a long way to go before full equality can be reached, before racism can be tackled. I would just love to have just a more peaceful political environment overall. But there's still a lot of political turmoil here. There's still a lot of injustice that needs to be tackled. But baby steps. I donate when I can. I support when I can. But for the most part, when it comes to like my music, I'm really just trying to make art, and I'm trying to focus on the music, and I want to sort of keep politics like sort of part of the conversation, but I want to be able to have the power to say like, okay, this piece of art is political, but this piece of art is not political, and I think we should always sort of empower artists to be able to make that distinction.
But how you decide which piece of art is political and which is not? For example, for me, Burn the Empire is totally political.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's kind of that's kind of the irony of that record is, it's kind of like, I mean, I guess it was sort of just me like playing a little bit of a joke and just kind of testing the waters and saying like, okay, if I put a lot of really political samples in this record, like, like orgasms and my ex-girlfriend's crying and and poetry and stuff like this, like things that are naturally very political, but if I say it's not political, like how is this going to be perceived? It was sort of like a experiment in that way. So yeah, I mean, I think what it really comes down to is sort of the mindset that I'm in when I create something. Like if I'm really pissed off about the political climate, or if I'm really mad at something Trump said, and I make a record out of that, then that will be a political piece of music, because that's sort of where the emotional energy came from. But if I'm just making a piece of art, and there's some 1950s Eisenhower speech or something I want to throw in there, then but if that's just more for content instead of political meaning, then that should be like my choice, I guess, to sort of decide that. But yeah, I think the choice really comes back to sort of the mindset that I'm in when I create something, and also the sort of message that I want to send out into the world. But yeah, the original Burn the Empire, I guess, idea was to be just a little bit anarchist and a little bit like, fuck the government, fuck politics. This is just an EP. This EP is not going to change the world. This EP is not going to, solve, the issues of feminism or racism. It's just a piece of music.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my my idea there.
Yeah. So, one of the last questions. Do you have any suggestions for our viewers on how to spend their time during the quarantine? What can people do for not getting crazy? How are you personally dealing with this?
Yeah, I mean, like everybody is different and everybody has their own thing. I mean, I've seen like at least 50 people turn to like making bread for some reason. I don't know why everybody's obsessed with baking bread all of a sudden, but yeah, for me, what I've been doing is I've also been trying to learn new skills, but not random skills, like skills that still kind of relate to my craft, like I've kind of noticed that a lot of my music is it's very percussive, it's very drum driven, it's very rhythmically driven. And so I was like, you know what, I should learn how to actually drum. Like I should just, and so I did. I got a little practice pad, and yeah, I try to practice at least 20, 30 minutes a day. And that's been really nice. Also because drumming is such a physical act, and if I'm having like a bad day or I'm frustrated, I can just like beat the shit out of this drum, and I'm allowed to because it's drumming. I don't feel like destructive or insane or anything. So drumming has been a great cathartic release, and like practicing the sort of the rudiments, which is the same as like the scales of drumming, but just the individual patterns that you find, like sort of finding a pattern that's awesome, setting a metronome, and just getting lost in the rhythm. It's so soothing. It's like meditation, but with rhythm. And so that's been a really great way for me to kind of let out some energy, but also get better at my craft and learn a new skill.
Okay, the last one. What would you like to say to your future self? Some particular message, maybe?
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would tell my future self to just to not get too caught up in the in the flashing lights and the and the all the sparkly shiny stuff of being bigger, if that happens. I would just tell myself to to not forget all the days of being a small niche artist, of days where I couldn't pay rent, so I had to start, cleaning apartments and, scrubbing vomit off club floors, like I would remind myself to not forget where I came from and to take that with me every step of the way, and to, to always focus on championing new artists and new ideas, and to always keep an eye on the future, because that's where the most exciting stuff is. And hopefully I won't need that reminder, but
Yeah.
if I do, then maybe 45-year-old Annie can watch this back and be reminded of that. But yeah, just always remember, 26-year-old Annie had it a little rough, but we're getting there.
Thank you so much. I'm really proud to be your interviewer, to get to know you, to make this
Yeah.
for the people. Thank you so much. It was
Thank you.
really,
Yeah, she was great to talk to you.
really wonderful. I would really love to meet you when you
Sure.
come to Berlin.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I'll hit you up. I'll hit up Yulav, and we can all get a beer, hang out in the basement or something. That'd be really fun. Yeah, absolutely. Do you mind if I just plug the Twitch stream for anybody listening? If anybody wants to watch the Twitch, I can just say the link.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So basically, yeah. So if there's any producers who want to send me any music, I do track feedback sessions on Twitch, and that's at twitch.tv/Ani_Klang. And the first Thursday of the month, I do a first track I ever made roast, where basically producers will send me the first track they ever made, and I roast them and make fun of how much they used to suck, and it's really fun. So if anybody watching wants to tune in, yeah, it's twitch.tv/Ani_Klang.
Thank you so much once again, and have a nice day.
Thanks. It was so nice to talk to you. Thank you so much. Talk soon. All right. Bye-bye.